Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, Brother Reshma. Herbs. Greetings to you all. Davidic. Greetings. Good evening, good night, good morning, good day, good year, good life, good existence. Everybody. I hope life is not too tough on you. Viola. Thank you. Well, God is inside your imagination. Mr. Darcy. Don't be nice. No, it's okay to be nice. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, brothers and sisters. Let's get through this. Send your requests if you disagree. And please go straight to your point if you have anything to say. Empathy, 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 y'all. Nikki, I try my best. I'm learning empathy. The more I talk to religious people, the more I learn empathy. You can never have too much empathy. Well, perhaps you can. But it can't really be harmful. No, God is just an idea that takes different shapes and forms in the minds of people. That in of itself, there's nothing wrong with it. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. And go straight to your point if you come up. Of course. Man, y'all don't even know. Look at my eyes. I'm tired. I got 4 hours of sleep today. Then I couldn't sleep. McDonald's or Burger King? How about you skip both? Greetings to you, Donnie. I hope all is well with you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Man, you guys know what's funny? You guys know how Pope Francis is apparently Pope Francis is sick and there are many fears for his health. I don't know how many of y'all used to follow pretty much the news in the religious world a couple of years ago when Pope Benedict had resigned. And it was the first pope to resign in about 600 years. And I remember I was a Christian back then, and there was this group of Christians that was saying, prophets apparently, that was saying that Pope Francis is going to be the last pope. Well, now that Pope Francis is pretty much, dude look like he's ready to go. I'm curious to see if they'll have another pope. Because if we get another pope, that pretty much discredits every so-called prophet. But that's to see. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I live long enough. Even though it's probably just a few years. What's up, TYR? Please go straight to your point, bro. What you got?
What's up, man? How you doing? You don't believe that God exists?
Is it a matter of belief?
You know God exists. You know God doesn't exist, huh?
Well, I know what I know.
Got you. So the proposition would be God exists, and not P is God does not exist. So either the negation is true or the proposition is true. Right? So atheism, which you hold, I believe, is a position that leaves you with only two incorrect options for the origin of the universe. And if I could prove those two incorrect options are wrong, then by default, theism is correct by the law of excluded middle.
You see, there's a problem when you approach me with that definition. Oh, at least when you approach me with that position.
What's the problem?
Define universe.
Define universe?
Yeah.
The universe is basically everything that exists. A universe is space.
Oh, I didn't say define a universe.
Hold on.
I said define the universe.
Yeah, the universe is space in which everything exists in.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
that your
so
best? Is that your best answer?
yeah.
All right.
What does this have to do with what I just
Oh
said?
no, I'm going to show you. This is my understanding of the word universe. All inclusive
Okay, go
across
ahead.
all schools of studies and across all disciplines. If you were to put the sum of human understanding, I would like to define the universe as everything, everyone, everywhere, every way, every shape, every form, regardless of status, power, state of being, as long as it exists in whatever shape or form, all inclusive would be the universe. And by that definition, you can't really have an origin. For wherever a thing would originate from, we still have to fall under the category of what the universe is. So
Okay.
when I define the
Okay, that
universe
that
like that, your whole argument is just not with me.
oh, that's interesting. So so let me run my argument because this actually falls under the two incorrect options. So I'm just going to run it really quick. A position that leaves you with only two incorrect options cannot be correct. You agree with that? P2, atheism is a position that leaves you with only two incorrect options, space and time being eternal, and something coming from pure nothingness. Conclusion, atheism cannot be correct. Conclusion two, if atheism cannot be correct, God exists due to the law of excluded middle. So I'm gonna
Hold
so
up.
my so I gotta
If you don't
provide my
mind,
truth.
please, can I
Okay, go
say
ahead.
something real quick?
Yeah, say something.
Can you elaborate when you mean something can come from nothing?
Yeah, this is worse than believing in magic because at least you have the magician and the hat. But with a pure nothingness scenario, it's literally non-being. So I grant that you don't agree with that. So we
No.
cross that out.
It's not that I agree or disagree, but let me try to build a bridge. When you think that, do you think it's possible that something coming from nothing might be a transcendental idea? Considering that you guys already have this idea of a transcendental God, perhaps it just is beyond human understanding. It's not necessarily an impossibility. And because it doesn't necessarily take or give away to anything, we just don't dismiss it, right? Now, if you're going to make your whole argument based on the fact that something cannot come from pure nothingness, I think that that problem really relates more to your position, because you're going to have to explain where God came from. And if God is eternal in its very nature, however you describe it, that's still the equivalence of coming out of pure nothingness, because that means he didn't come from
Okay.
anywhere or
Okay,
anything,
so
which is the
okay.
equivalent of nothing.
Tackle something coming from pure nothingness, and we're also going to tackle space and time being eternal. So so this is my argument. I'm going to focus on P2. If I could prove that space and time are eternal, incorrect, and something coming from pure nothingness, incorrect, that leaves us with the uncreated creator option. Therefore, leaving theism necessarily must be correct due to the law of excluded middle, right?
An
So,
uncreated creator is the equivalent of a creator that came out of nothing.
no, that's a category error. You know why? Because God is timeless without beginning or end.
That's
So he always
nothingness.
existed.
Nothingness is timeless without beginning or end.
That's
You've just
nothingness.
redefined nothingness. You made it your
Wait, hold
God.
on. Just wait. So just to clarify. Wait, so just to clarify, is is non-existence existence?
No, non-existence would be the
Yeah, God
opposite of
exists.
existence.
Yeah. God timelessly exists. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's
but
not falling under a pure nothingness scenario.
you're stating that God exists, and yet you're giving him characteristics consistent with non-existence.
Yeah, this is the concept of God. This
That's
is
what I'm
one of the
saying.
options
It's
for the
really
origin
just
of the
fancy
universe.
wordplay. You've just redefined nothingness. You're personifying nothingness.
Yeah, so if God was pure nothingness, that would mean that he would have no volition. He would be an unpersonal not he would
And
be an
that's
uncreated
exactly how you
non-personal
describe
cause.
your God. He is
Okay,
nowhere,
okay, so
nowhere,
so
in
just
no
to
shape or
clarify,
form.
you're okay, just to clarify, now you're straw manning because and now you're redefining definitions, right? So the two incorrect options, I define them, but now the third option would be the uncreated creator option. And now you're saying that God falls under SCPN, which is something coming from pure nothingness,
It would have to if it didn't come from anything.
In the concept of God, God is not pure nothingness because he always existed. So let's not gish gallop here. So to prove that God exists, I got to prove that atheism is wrong, right? So let's focus on P2. If I could prove that space and time are eternal, wrong, and something coming from pure nothingness, wrong, by necessary, the uncreated creator option is the correct option.
Nah, that's dependent on certain presumptions. Like I said, if we go to the very fundamental of it, we don't even get out of the definition of nothingness and God before your whole argument shatters. Like I said,
so
you have to carefully distinguish and justify how when you say to me that something has always been there, that logically follows that it comes from nothing. So if I say, what thing does that come from? The answer is nothing. What place does that come from? The answer is nowhere. Who made that? No one. So you're describing someone who apparently came from nothing, from no one, and from nowhere. That's non-existence, right? That's nothingness. That would be pure nothingness, because pure nothingness by definition comes from nothing, no one, nowhere. So we have to reconcile that before you even go into anything else. And you can't reconcile that without literally taking that idea of nothingness and personifying it as your God, and then giving it whatever attributes, and then simplifying it to your local religion, and then building a faith and rituals out of it. See, that's
so just to clarify, you believe that conceptual existence is pure nothingness?
Yes, I think that existence in of itself is such an expansive idea that if you want to define existence based on what we've perceived and the foundations that we've built due to our own, how do I put it? Our own experience, then God can't exist. Now, if you say existence can transcend what we experience, then even in a state of pure nothingness, a transcendental being can still be, right? So pure nothingness should not be an option that you eliminate. You have to validate nothingness in order to now begin to shape and structure your God as something that's beyond human understanding.
So just to clarify, if I could prove that something can come from pure nothingness, that's out of the equation, and now I have to tackle space and time being eternal.
Yeah, so if you can prove that something can come from pure nothingness, you've just proven that your God doesn't exist, because your God would have to come from pure nothingness.
You're not tracking, bro. You're not tracking. I don't agree that something could come from pure nothingness, because I also believe that God is not pure nothingness. He exists as a transcendental being. So you don't agree that something can come from pure nothingness, right? So we're crossing that out, and we're focusing now on space and time being eternal in the past, right? Do you believe that space and time are eternal in the past?
Space and time is not that it's eternal in the past. I think it's eternal in the present.
Space and time are eternal in the present.
At every given present moment, space-time is unquantifiable, unqualifiable, immeasurable. You can only ever approximate.
So just to clarify, you believe that space is eternal?
By very nature, it has to.
Okay, by very nature, it has to. Okay, so do you understand the concept of space-time? So if space is eternal, time necessarily must be eternal with it, correct?
The idea of time has to be eternal if there's a possibility of eternity existing.
Perfect. So I'm going to prove to you why this is an incorrect position, right? So I'm going to give you a thought experiment, okay? How long do you think you could jump rope 10 times?
It depends on what units of measurements I'm using.
Bro, just how long do you think you could jump rope 10 times?
What units of measurement do you want me to use? Or you want me to make up my own units of measurement?
Seconds, minutes, whatever. How long do you think you could jump rope 10 times?
How long do I think I can jump rope 10 times? Maybe 5 seconds.
Okay. How long do you think you could jump rope 20 times?
5 seconds.
Okay. How long do you think you could jump rope an infinite number of times?
an infinite number of seconds.
Nope, wrong. You know why? Because you could never arrive at a moment where you could say, okay, guys, I'm done jumping. So
So by very
with that
nature,
being,
that's the thing. That's the thing. So as long as it is proportional, the question as is proportional to what's observed, then it's an infinite amount of time. It remains infinite until it's proven that I can come to a stop. So I will have to be an infinite being to jump rope an infinite amount of time. So that would not apply to me technically and literally, but hypothetically it could, because you're not giving me any limitations as far as what I'm capable of.
so what you're saying is you can reach an end to an infinite series?
No, I'm saying that because I can't reach an end, that in of itself is infinite.
Right. Exactly. So you can't reach an end to an infinite series, right? So an infinite series has no end. The same way we can't reach the present from an infinite past. You can't
Well,
traverse an infinite
technically, an
series.
infinite series would have an end. It's more of a directional problem.
A directional problem. Can you clarify on that?
So I can show you.
All right, go ahead.
I'll demonstrate my favorite
Oh God!
demonstration.
If you're gonna hold to the what is it? If you're gonna hope to loop time, oh my God, bro, it's gonna be crazy.
Oh no!
Anyways, go ahead.
No! Listen, I'll show you, because you like to think of time as linear, right? But time is not so much necessarily linear as much as it is continuous. So
All right.
it is the continuity. That's why we call it the space-time continuum. We don't call it the space-time lineum, if that's even a word. So since your brain apparently has been programmed to think straight, you can't necessarily conceive that idea, and you can't even reconcile it with how we experience the present moment. That's why you're having to make all those presuppositions in order to get yourself to understand time. But I'm going to show you how what I'm saying makes sense.
I know exactly what you're gonna do.
Of course, you probably have seen me do it before. So, first of all, there is no way for us to measure time linearly. There is absolutely no form of measurement of time humanly possible, conceivable, which is linear. We measure time using cycles, revolutions, whether it's in seasons, whether it's the clock, whether it's 5,000 years. There has to be patterns that are repetitive to a certain extent. That eliminates the possibility of it being linear. So some way there is a curve, loop, or even just a complete circle. So
Okay, perfect. You're gonna hold to loop timeline, right?
no, listen.
Nah, this is gonna be perfect. Go ahead.
Listen. So look at this right here, right? How many times do you have to go around this circle to know where I started drawing the circle?
I'd say an infinite number of times.
Where did I start drawing the circle?
You didn't. It just exists. But you know that actually raises a lot of problems.
Hold up.
Wait,
So you're saying that the beginning of this circle wasn't created?
No. If you're gonna hold to that, you're gonna run into a lot of problems, sir. I'm telling you right now.
No, sure. You can point them out one by one. Be diligent. Like I said, until somehow you can tell me using some method, shape, or form, right, to tell me exactly where I started drawing the circle without having directly observed it.
Yeah, I believe that the circle just exists. But watch this.
So you believe that we just
die
exist?
On a hill. You would have to die on a hill and say that Elvis Presley died taking a shit an infinite number of times. You would have to die on that hill. You know why? Because in a loop timeline, we've had this conversation an infinite number of times. And also another thing, Bakanda, you have to understand is that you have no free will. Meaning that if we were on a loop timeline, everything is determined. Damn, you're going to die on this hill, huh? You're going to die on this hill.
Let me help you out.
You're going to die on this hill, right?
Let me help you out.
Go ahead.
There is different perspectives of time. So much that when we're talking at a universal level, we will not conceptualize time when we're talking on the subjective level, which would be dependent on the experience of whatever is within the continuum. Because, let me show you something else. This is an ancient science. They used to call it the flower of life, but I'll show you the idea. If you can comprehend this, perhaps it will shed some enlightenment into your perspective of things. I'm just going to do 3 for now.
All right.
Okay.
If a loop timeline indeed exists, we would have to like this moment exists infinitely, and also you would have no free will, and also moments in time would be like infinite, like meaning
No, no,
that
no, 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 no.
we yes,
When,
you would have to
when
hold to
we're
that.
talking about time, we're not talking about the essence of matter, right? Now, look at this. Do you see that very well?
Bro, you're just making up stuff right now. Is it
No, 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 no. If you would let me shed clarity, you would understand that it's not being made up. Do you understand the science behind the flower of life? It's old. It's really old. It's one
okay?
of
Go
the
ahead.
things that humans at the highest level of mathematics have always understood. That's literally the same principle behind how we develop mathematics graphically to draw a graph, because every one of these circle has an x and y axis, and then there's different points of intersection. And then from this perspective, two-dimensionally, you can get a cylinder out of it. You can get different shapes and structures. And then with the x and y axis, you can have different lines, some running parallel, some intersecting at different angles. This is the essence of the world. Okay, so generically, time is moving regardless of our experience. But there's an aspect of time that's also dependent on our experience, and this is what I have depicted here. So, do you see what I have on the screen? I'll explain to you what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Okay, the guy at the top is me, and the guy at the bottom is you. And then
Okay.
the guy right here, you and I have the same perspective of this guy, experiencing this guy at a different, at the same time, but from different perspectives, vice versa, right?
Okay.
So I can put a tangent on any one of these lines and then connect them to form a shape and structure. This is what we mean when we say that time is a loop, how you experience it. Now, all of this in of itself, it's within another giant circle which intersects with other giant circles. That is almost infinite. Well, not almost, that's literally infinite, because we don't know where to stop. And to imagine an end of it will be categorically impossible. This is how time works. Time is not a straight line. By no means. If we represent it as a straight line, it's as a means to allow us to perform certain calculations. But in this very essence, it moves circularly. I don't know if you
So
understand that.
can I give at least like 5 examples on why a loop timeline would be illogical and also I'd say contradictory?
Go ahead.
So if you're gonna hold to this, number one would be you would have to have been born and died already an infinite number of times. Two, you would have no free will as the future would already be set and fixed. Three, your current self would just be experiencing an illusion, but in reality, you would only exist as part of some type of never-ending, repeating simulation. Four, new things could never be born or begin to exist. Why? Because technically there would never be anything new. Their existence or newness would in reality just be a replay of an infinite number of times they had already began to exist. So technically, if you're going to hold to this, you would have no free will. You would have died and lived an infinite number of times, and no new things actually exist. And you ever heard the phrase, a man doesn't step in the same river twice? Have you ever heard that phrase?
Or that lightning doesn't strike the same spot twice. Yeah.
Exactly. So if time was on this infinite loop and where we experience things an infinite like number of times, that would just raise a lot of problems within what we know about reality.
No, it
So
also
that's
depends.
why I believe that
It depends on
time
your
is linear.
comprehension.
I believe time is linear and that there would have been a first cause, because if that was the case, all those things I just proposed to you would be true.
Yeah, those things that you propose will be true under a simple-minded understanding of this principle. Now, look, like I said, it depends on the units of measurement. Okay? Some people, time as it occurs to them, from his perspective that might be slightly higher than theirs, they don't even make a complete revolution as far as their existence in terms of whatever shape or form they take in terms of matter. Remember, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one state to another. So what this circle represents is actually the changing or the different states of transformation as far as energy is concerned. As far as energy and its changes, there are certain forms of energy that are one and temporal. They exist only once in a given moment, and no matter what comes after, even if it resembles it, it is still not it. So you are trying, when you use the example of Elvis Presley or whatever, he was a once in an existential occurrence. So am I, so are you. That's why death is a real thing. And death, from our perspective, is when our consciousness is completely diluted, our bodies completely change form, so much that the state in which we previously existed, which in of itself has different aspects affecting it, in order for it to even be, ceases. It will never be again. But the general continuum of that cycle of energy moving, the continuity of things continues infinitely. Oof. I don't know if I made it simple enough for you to get, considering that you have your mentality as far as this is concerned.
That's just brute facts on what I said about loop time theory. And also another thing is, if this was some eternal cycle, even in an infinite loop timeline, you can never actually reach to the present moment, because each moment is like dependent upon a prior moment. So how could we even reach now, even if the loop timeline was real?
Again, you're not getting it, bro. Okay, what are the three fundamental building blocks of the universe? I did conceptually.
3 building blocks of the universe, you said?
Yes, conceptually. As far as we understand it now. Space, time, matter.
Yeah, space, time, matter.
Okay, what's space in of itself?
Space is just a void in which things exist.
Infinite.
No. Space in itself. Okay, I mixed up the two, because the universe, that's the definition of the universe. Space is just a realm, just a realm. The universe is what contains everything that exists.
Space, by definition, universally, is an immeasurable, dimensionless expanse. No perceived beginning, no perceived end, in the literal sense of the word space. Now,
wait, you don't believe that space had a beginning? You don't believe in the Big Bang?
It couldn't have, because whatever will be there before what you would perceive to be the beginning of space will still be space in of itself. The
Ever heard of the second law? Sorry. Go ahead.
The expanse in of itself is like energy. It can be in any type of state. Remember, energy is the most indestructible force in the universe. I will use that word, right? Space can take any shape or form as long as it's an immeasurable expanse, per the idea of the universe. Matter are the different things within space that take shape or form.
Okay.
That take specific shape or form and continuously change from one state to another. That rate of change is time.
Okay. So
it's all encompassing. It's all encompassing. So even if there was a point where there was only a singular existence, in of itself, that singular existence still has to occupy space in one way or another. It still has to be made of something in one way or another, and time will still expire, because in order for it to exist and be conscious of its existence, there has to be different forms of change in its form.
Okay, so just to clarify, if you believe, do you believe that the universe is expanding?
No, not extrinsically. The universe, according to the Big Bang theory and the scientific consensus, it's not an extrinsic expansion, it's an intrinsic expansion, because you even accepting the fact that the universe can expand into nothingness is ridiculous. You don't believe that. You don't think that pure nothingness exists. So the universe has to be expanded into something when they say universe is expanding. But what I'm saying to you is that extrinsically, whatever it is that the intrinsic universe is expanding into is also part of the universe. So what we're actually observing, literally, is that the universe comprises multiple dimensions, and you can have dimensions within dimensions.
I talked to the last guy. I forgot his name, but I think he's your friend. But he literally said the universe doesn't expand. Do you hold to that? Do you believe that the universe does not expand?
You should judge me by my words rather than my friends.
I know you're smarter than this. Do you believe that the universe is expanding? Yes or no?
The universe is not expanding extrinsically, intrinsically.
The universe is not expanding intrinsically?
It's expanding intrinsically, not extrinsically. So there is nothing outside the universe for the universe to expand into in the literal sense. You get it?
Can you define intrinsic?
Within.
The universe
internal
is
affairs.
Expanding. Okay, so the universe is expanding intrinsically.
Right.
Okay. So you hold that the universe is expanding, right?
Intrinsically.
Okay. So do you know why it's expanding?
Extrinsically, no.
Do you know why it's expanding?
Yeah, because energy is constantly transforming and changing states and changing form.
Good job.
And there's different types of matter in the universe that react in different ways. And different regions within the universe might be populated by a vast amount of a type of matter.
See, I knew you were smarter than the other guy, right? So
no, you don't need to compare people's intelligence.
No. If the universe is expanding, we understand it has a high entropy, right? Do you know what entropy is?
I have a sufficient understanding, but you can tell me because you probably know it better than me.
Entropy is just the randomness or disorder within a system, and the universe is a system in which a randomness or disorder within a system, meaning that, like for example, take a block of ice, right? It has a low entropy and then it melts high entropy, right? So the universe is expanding due to entropy, and we understand that the universe came from a low entropy point, meaning that it comes.
No, it's not the universe that came from a low entropy point.
If it has a high entropy, did the universe have a low entropy one time?
The universe in of itself could have different levels of entropy depending on what region you're observing at what given time. Everything that we know about the universe and what we summarize as the universe, it's actually subjective to the human perception and human experience. We know that there's more that's outside of our experience and perception, which would also be part of the universe. But for the sake of understanding and communication and learning and growth, we summarize what we know as a universe. Sometimes people say the observable universe. The observable universe and the non-observable universe are one and the same, right? Universally, all inclusively. If you combine all those ideas all together, you get a different level of a definition of the word universe. That's what I mean every time I say universe. I'm not speaking of the universe subjective to human experience. I'm saying that anything, anywhere, any shape, any form, regardless of state, status, capability, ability, will be universe. Because the word universal implies no exception, not even a creator. So in order for you to have a creator, there already has to be an established, non-created idea of the universe. And then within that established, non-created idea of the universe, there are different levels of power and capability where one may even possess the ability to bring about brand new dimensions and give it whatever shape or form as desired, considering that they are a mind.
So this is a problem because if you believe that the universe is infinite and also we're on a loop timeline, you would have to die on a hill and say, when you unalive, like in the present, like infinitely in the present, you would have to have been born again the same exact way and do the same exact occurrences if you hold to a loop timeline and you reject the linear timeline.
No, because
yes.
No, because my existence is temporal. You know what that means?
Yes, what is it?
It's a temporary, unique state, unique to the specific moment of occurrence. Once other forces and other aspects of reality influence it, whatever the byproduct is, though it continues following a specific loop of change, it will never take that exact state again. It's kind of like the uniqueness of snowflakes, right?
It has to.
No, it doesn't have to. We don't observe that.
A loop timeline.
We don't observe that. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. There are no two winters that are the same, though they come every year, and we have a calendar that is structured to measure exactly 12 months. No two springs are the same, right? Like, you can take a mango seed, plant it, and it will produce fruit that look just like that previous mango, but it's not the same. Though the seasons and timing of itself is going in this circular, but chances is the loops are not moving at the same pace for everything and for everyone. So it affects the product. Though there might be certain resemblances, it actually makes every existence unique within a given moment.
On a loop timeline, there's nothing actually new that occurs within the universe. I think you should look up like what the loop
no. Yes, there is. It can be -1. How do I put it? There are multiple other how do I put it? Factors that affect existence. Existence is not exclusive to time alone. You still have space and matter is changing. We're talking about time in terms of the rate of change. Yes, it produces things that are similar, but regardless of which unit of measurement you use to divide up time, there will be a uniqueness, even if it loops and comes back.
So, so just to clarify, you reject that time is in a flow, meaning that you reject that the past is gone, the present is now, and the future awaits. You believe that past, present, and future are all equally real, right? You hold to the B theory if you believe in the timeline.
I think that past, present, and future is a concept that is that's subjective to a conscious mind. In the absence of a conscious mind, those concepts are completely irrelevant in the grand schemes of things. And conscious minds are not necessary for the universe to exist. You and I don't have to be here for here to be here. And in the absence of us being here to perceive the flow of things in terms of past, present, and future, it would just all be present and chaotic, to be honest. Like, the order that we see, it tells us more about how our brains are wired rather than how it actually is, literally, in actuality.
Okay, so just to clarify, you're holding to a B theory of time.
Bro, I get confused with the whole B and A theory all the time because I didn't study like that. I figured half of this shit on my own. But if you tell me what the B theory of time is, I'll tell you how my ideology relates to it.
Yeah, so a B theory of time would be past, present, and future are all equally real at once.
Not in the literal sense, but conceptually, yes. So we can conceptualize that the past was real. Be it as it may, we have to be present in order to do that. We can conceptualize that the future will be real. Be it as it may, we have to be present in order to do that. So it's what I call the eternal now. The eternal now. So the eternal now is the most literal state of existence. Then, from the subjective perspective of a conscious mind, due to its ability to have omni-properties, you have to simplify it to make it consumable. That's how we then go with past, present, and future. If we didn't have a need to remember the past would not be a thing. Because literally, things come into existence and go out of existence. The only thing that remains consistent is the very fundamental blocks of nature, of energy, and the continuous flow and change.
Okay, so you hold to A theory. You believe that the past already happened, the present is now, and the future awaits.
Yes, I think that the past represents what is no more. The present represents what is, and the past represents what could be but may never be, or what could be or may never be.
So, on a linear line of time.
In fact, let me elaborate on that a little bit. So the past is what was or may have never been. The present is what is, and in fact can be verified. The future is what could be or may never be. Because even our conceptualization of the past is hindered due to our lack of observation. We weren't there. So we cannot really ever know the past in the literal sense. We can only know fragments of it. So chances is in our effort to conceptualize the past, we just miss certain things. And then we come to conclusions that probably never existed.
What'd you eat for breakfast this morning?
I didn't eat breakfast this morning.
Okay, did you take a shower this morning?
I didn't take a shower this morning.
What's the time for you?
It's 10:39 p.m.
And you didn't take a shower today?
I just took a shower 2 hours ago.
Okay, 2 hours ago. So did that happen?
That happened.
Right. So that was the past, right?
That was the past.
Okay, perfect. So you're living in the present, right?
Indeed.
Is tomorrow going to happen?
Maybe.
Okay, perfect. You believe in A theory. It was just that simple.
You can call it A theory, Bakanga theory, C theory, but why the fuck are you theorizing when that's actually just the fact?
Bro, I just wanted to
No.
see what you
The
held
question
to.
you've asked me, who can argue against that?
That's a good question. A B theorist
Okay,
might
so
argue
hold
against it.
up. Let me show you how that A theory is in fact true. And what you told me about the B theory is also in fact true.
Okay, go ahead.
In order for you to ask me if I took a shower 2 hours ago, do you have to ask that? Do you have to ask that right now?
Yeah, I literally just asked you the question.
Okay. If you had to go back 2 hours ago and ask me the question 2 hours ago, would you be able to?
Would I be able to? No, because you wouldn't be online.
Okay, so when we say that everything is happening in the present, it's because even the conceptualization of things that are normal and things that are yet to be can only be done from the present. So the present is the absolute grounding of time in of itself, the most necessary requirement. But if we now go into the video game, which is our conceptualization, you can then ask me, considering that I already have certain understanding of common sense that, okay, the past, you're referring to what happened 2 hours ago. Though, what this whole interaction is happening right now, without which, if there's no right now, this interaction doesn't happen, and whether I took a shower may or may not have happened. In fact, even me telling you that I took a shower 2 hours ago may or may not have happened. You have no way to confirm that. I could be lying. So we are also hindered because of our biases as human beings. Our conceptualization of the past is hindered because it's contingent on pure honesty from all narrators or all communicators.
Yeah, I'm talking about objective reality. If we took a shower,
yeah, it's not objective that I took a shower 2 hours ago. That's going to be subjective to me. Only me know if I'm telling the truth. You can only guess.
Did you objectively take a shower 2 hours ago?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an objective truth.
Now, ask me the question again.
Whether you're
hold on. Ask me the question again.
Oh my God. Did you take a shower 2 hours ago?
No.
Are you
so
lying?
tell me which one is it? Did I or did I not?
Well, it would be very dishonest if you were lying right now.
That's what I said to you. That literally the idea of the past has to be contingent on honesty.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, but okay, then if I'm not honest with you, how would you know what really happened?
Oh my God, even if you were lying, that doesn't negate that it actually happened.
How can you say it never happened? Then I can make any claim about anything.
It doesn't matter. If it
yes,
happened,
it matters.
Objective, no, it doesn't.
Objective happened. Listen, objective reality has to be backed by empirical evidence. It's not purely conceptual.
So just to clarify, just because you lied about you taking a shower, does that mean it didn't happen?
If there's no empirical evidence, why would anyone believe that it happened?
Oh my God, dude, that's not the conversation. I'm talking about objective reality.
Yeah, objective reality is literally founded upon empirical evidence.
Holy guaca frickin' moly.
Yeah, are you saying I'm wrong? That objective reality is not based on empirical evidence. That's how we even define
if
it.
you indeed took a shower 2 hours ago, that happened and you did that, right?
That's
Just
why
the
you
same
use the word
way.
if. You know why you use the word if?
Just the
Because it's
same
just a
way. Okay.
possibility. You literally just use the word
Okay.
if because it's a possibility, not
just to
the actual reality.
Okay, just to clarify, just because if I don't perceive something, does that mean it didn't happen?
If you don't perceive something and you don't have evidence that conclusively, undeniably states that that thing happened, there's a possibility that it didn't happen.
Oh, so if I never go to Canada and I've never does that mean that Canada doesn't exist? Just because I didn't go to Canada?
There's empirical evidence that Canada exists.
How do you know that?
Because you can perform the experiment in real time, and if multiple people perform the experiment, they'll get consistent results. It's already proven.
How could you perform? Wait, what?
You simply have to take all the tools that we have for geolocation and traveling, and then find your way to a place called Canada and see if it meets the standard or if it meets the requirement or what is stated by those who claim that Canada exists.
I'm talking about a hypothetical and where you never go to Canada.
If I never go to Canada, there's still ways to verify the empirical evidence.
How?
You can use videos, pictures, you can meet people from Canada that would meet certain logical requirements as defined per se.
How do you know if the videos or pictures are fake?
Okay, because check this out. Let's describe Canada. People from Canada speak both French and English fluently.
Okay.
They have a higher tolerance of cold than people who live in the South. They have a Canadian passport and Canadian citizenship.
Okay.
If someone meets those requirements, that's enough empirical evidence.
Okay, so just to clarify, if they have a paper that says they're from Canada, and Canada exists even though you've never been there?
Yeah, I'll just call the Canadian embassy anywhere to verify the authenticity of the paper.
Okay, so just to clarify, if there's text within the Bible...
Without ever going to Canada myself.
Hold on. So just to clarify, if there's text within the Bible that say that they saw Jesus, does that make it real?
If there's text that in the Bible that says that they saw Jesus, that doesn't make it real.
Okay, so if the person gives you a certificate that says I came from Canada, does that make it real?
But if I can verify it, it's authenticity.
How could you verify it?
I can go to a Canadian embassy.
No. You're not going to no Canada. So my hypothetical.
No. Listen.
Hold on.
You said
I caught you.
Listen. Calm down, bro. Don't be childish. Don't be childish. Again, I said to you that as long as it meets the requirements of what Canada is defined as, do you know that the embassy of a country is considered that country?
Yeah, Canada is considered Canada. Yeah. Okay.
Do you live in Canada or do you live in the United States?
I live in the United States.
If you go to a Canadian embassy, do you know that you've been to Canada?
If I go to a Canadian embassy, I've been to Canada?
Yes.
Is the Canadian embassy in Canada?
No, it doesn't have to be Canada.
Oh, so just to clarify, it could be a Canadian embassy. No, I'm talking about... Okay, so just because a Canadian embassy
exactly, you're having a problem because you never properly defined Canada. But if we're going based on how it works in the real world, it's
hold on now.
You might have caught yourself.
Hold on now. So just to clarify, just because you go to a Canadian embassy, that doesn't mean that verifies that Canada itself is real. And
yes, it does.
Because there's no empirical evidence for it.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Why?
Because we have established structures in our world that will first of all necessitate an embassy. And you wouldn't be having an embassy, especially in a foreign land where it's already established that that's not literally Canada, right? United States. You wouldn't be having an embassy representing Canada just for the sake of deception. That's bullshit. Okay, then you don't live in the real world. Then you don't know how the world really works.
Wait, hold on. So just to clarify, if there's an embassy of Unicorn Land, does Unicorn Land exist?
If there's an embassy of unicorn
Answer
land,
my
hold up,
question.
hold up, and it's endorsed by the U.S. government, then yes, it does exist.
So
Because you can't have an
unicorn land
embassy
exists?
of another country in another legal country without being endorsed by the government of that legal country. It does exist.
Okay. So unicorn land exists because there's an embassy of it.
Of course. Do you know what an embassy is? That will require that you understand what an embassy is, understand national relations, understand the basic structure of the fucking world, my brother. You would have to understand those things in order to understand that what I'm saying is in fact true. But if you have a superficial understanding of those structures, then of course you're going to be in Kuku Gaga land thinking that heaven is a real place. Because you go to church and your church says it's the embassy of heaven. So now you go to church and you imagine that there's an invisible angel standing at the door. And then you talk to yourself while pretending that you're talking to someone in the sky.
Exactly. So the church is the embassy of God.
That's literally what that implies.
So God exists?
No,
You see how that's a contradiction?
that's not a contradiction.
Why not?
Because we also know the difference between fiction and non-fiction. We also know the difference between superstition and actual reality.
Okay. You see what you did there? We have an embassy of the church, which is the embassy of God, and you're saying God doesn't exist, but now you're saying if the unicorn embassy exists, that's proof of unicorn land. You understand how stupid that is?
No, it's again, it can only be stupid if you don't understand how embassy works. Okay? First of all, what is the one thing for sure you will find at an embassy anywhere in the real world? Tell me, what's the one thing in the embassy that you will always find?
What's the one thing? I'm sorry, what? What's the one thing you would find at
In
an
every embassy of every country, in any country in the world, what's the one thing that you will always find at an embassy?
What's the one thing?
Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah, what is it?
An ambassador and a diplomat who is not a legal citizen of the land upon which that embassy is located, that follows certain legal channels and can be verified by the authorities of said land that this individual is in fact here as a diplomat and an ambassador. That is established, that is consistent, that never fails. Now, can I go to any church and find an ambassador of heaven there who ain't no fucking human being in a freaking suit? Can I find an angel in a church?
Heaven, yeah.
Hold on. Can I find
can
I find an envoy from heaven in a church?
Can you find a what?
An envoy, an ambassador of heaven in a church. If a church is the embassy.
Yeah, the priest can be a symbolic ambassador of the church.
No. I'm not talking about symbolism. Yeah, fuck symbolism. Now you're going to fiction. Literally.
Why? Why can't
Can I find an ambassador in a church who is not a human being from planet Earth, who in fact came from heaven to represent heaven on Earth?
Yeah, you could find an ambassador of the church, yeah.
I can find an ambassador of heaven in a church?
Yeah. You just got to go to church.
Who?
Yeah, he's the priest.
The priest is an earthling. The priest is from Earth. He's a citizen of the Earth. The ambassador will have to be a citizen of heaven and not a citizen of Earth. But
he is
in
a
fact,
citizen of heaven.
Huh?
He is a citizen of heaven.
Who?
The pastor. I mean, technically, we're all citizens of heaven, so it's like...
Bro, you hear yourself, right? And if I say to you that you're full of shit, whoa, will you fuck me?
Wait, what?
If I say to you that you're full of shit for saying what you just said, will you fuck me?
Well, like, what? Wait, what?
You think your pastor is a citizen of heaven?
Yeah.
An ambassador of heaven?
Yeah.
He's ever been to heaven?
He's a citizen of heaven. He's going to be
Has he ever been to heaven?
Yeah. It's heaven on earth. If you believe in Jesus, it's heaven on earth. Mm-hmm. So anyways.
I rest my case.
Okay. I mean, you're saying that just because you lie about an event doesn't mean that means it doesn't happen. So it's like,
That's the point of a lie. When you state something to have happened when in fact it didn't. So we need real methods to establish truth. Empirical evidence being the most consistent and accurate way of doing that. Without empirical evidence, you go into the subjective realm. A person might feel like that, though they might be just totally wrong. That's why the standard of empirical evidence is one which is proven to work.
empirical evidence, right? Tangible evidence, right? Can you show me a tangible number?
No,
Why not? Do numbers exist?
because numbers most fundamentally are just concepts. So the way the number translates into the real world is by the understanding of principle and then following that pattern to separate any object or anything which in of itself is tangible with the understanding of the concepts of numbers.
Do concepts exist?
Concepts do not exist literally, they exist as thought.
Oh, that's interesting. So there's things that exist that are not tangible.
Again, that's why I said not literally. Because Superman exists, but not literally. Santa
Right.
Claus
So there's
exists,
the-
but
wait,
not
hold on.
literally.
So it's not about empirical evidence and tangibleness, right? It's not about that.
No, it is about that if you're trying
No,
to
it's
prove
not.
objective reality.
Wait, hold on. It's not because you just proved that
When
it
I
isn't.
brought up empirical evidence, we were talking about objective reality, were we not?
Yeah, we're talking about objective,
Okay, there is also something called subjective reality, right?
subjective reality.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
What's subjective reality?
When you have an experience that you believe to be real and it actually affects you really, but you have no way of proving it. So when observed, it cannot be seen that what you're saying is true, but we cannot necessarily invalidate your claim. So we just make it subjective, but we don't claim it to be objective. Now, there's some subjective experiences which in fact can be verified through empirical evidence, making it objective, though it began as a subjective experience. For example, when you start running your tongue and biting your tongue and then you claim that it's the Holy Spirit, some people will see it differently. Someone will see it as a mental illness. Someone will see it as the Holy Spirit coming upon you. And somebody will just see it as, yeah, let them do them. But does the Holy Spirit in fact come upon you? No. Not empirically and not objectively.
Okay, so what you're stating is there's conceptual existence and physical existence, right? Like concepts and thoughts which exist conceptually, and there's things that exist physically like chairs and bicycles and etc., right? So when I'm talking about time, right? We understand that time is a concept that we instantiate within reality, right? So we're going back to the time, right? So so my question is, well, you stated that you already believe in the A theory of time, right? That the past happened, you showered 2 hours ago, the present is now, and the future awaits, right?
And I
So
also
time-
mentioned that
right.
I also agree
Okay.
with the B theory of time.
And you
So,
okay, and you
so
also
my
agree with the B
understanding
theory
of time reconciles
Okay.
both positions.
Okay, so you believe in both. Okay, perfect, right?
Not a belief, it's something I understand. I don't
Okay,
care to use the
okay.
word belief.
Okay, you understand. So, and you also claim that the universe, right, always existed, right?
It has to.
All right, it has to, right?
Because
So
as long as
it
there's
doesn't-
anything that existed, that thing would be the universe. You just choose to call it God so that you can give it whatever shape and form makes you feel good.
Okay, so if the universe was eternally existing, do you understand that as entropy increases, we would have reached maximum entropy, which would have reached to a heat death? Do you know
It
what a heat
depends
death
on
is?
if the forces of nature are consistent and the same across the entire universe, which they're in fact not.
Can you explain that?
That's why there's different types of matter, different elements, and different types of forces, different types of energies. All of those would affect entropy. I believe so.
So what you're saying is entropy would contract?
It might contract in some cases. It might expand in other
Okay, so
cases.
so we're talking about in the future. So if energy did contract, you would actually hold to a cyclic model of a big crunch actually happening due to like the gravitational pull of entropy contracting.
Entropy is not a
So
singular thing. Again,
so
listen. I don't know if you've been seeing this thing going around the internet. I've been talking to my followers
so
about it for a while. The idea of a white hole and a black hole. There's no true singularity in existence. So you start making conclusions that are based on a singular type of idea, as though you just have one thing out here ruling and governing everything. No, there's no true singularity in existence.
there's no wait what? There's no true.
Singularity in existence.
Yeah, we understand that, but we also understand that the universe was compacted into a singularity and expanded.
Not
But
the
you don't believe
universe,
that.
our
You don't even hold to
dimension
that.
of existence.
Right, you don't even hold to that. So that's what I'm saying is this universe didn't always exist, right?
No, this dimension didn't always exist, but the universe always.
What's the universe? Can you define the universe?
Everything, everywhere, every shape, every form, regardless of ability, regardless of status.
Okay.
Everything,
So
everywhere, everyone, every
okay.
time, at any time, all put together, regardless of
Okay.
omni properties, regardless of inferior properties, regardless of will, regardless of mind, consciousness, state, chaos, order, everything. So let's say our dimension never existed and there was this being that had been there since who knows what. That being of itself is the universe. It's part of the universe, and there's something bigger than that being. If you just can't quantify that being, that's the limitation of your understanding. But by very nature, there has to be something bigger than that being, and something bigger than the thing that's bigger than that being. In fact, is an infinite loop when you understand it, while still taking into consideration the unique changes that happen due to the internal mechanisms of the entire universe.
Okay, so just to clarify, you believe that the greatest ontic state is the universe.
I think that the word universe and the conceptualization of the idea of the universe is the highest understanding that man would ever be capable of, as far as what is, what could be, what never was.
Okay, perfect.
All
So
inclusive. You know what all inclusive means,
all right.
right?
Yeah, all inclusive encapsulates
No
everything, right?
exceptions. Created and
Yeah.
creators,
So
all together.
So, all right. So I'm just gonna ask you three questions, all right? Because I feel like this conversation's been going on forever. So you believe that the universe is eternal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The universe encapsulates all things that exist, right?
The idea of the universe, because it's conceptual, okay,
Right.
encompasses all things that exist, may have
Right.
existed, could have existed, will
Okay.
exist, may exist. It's a concept. It's all inclusive.
Okay.
I'm
Perfect.
telling you that there's no
Okay. Perfect.
adjective
That's all I needed.
that
That's all I needed from you.
listen. There's no adjective you put in front of a thing to make it not the universe.
Okay. That's all I needed from you.
Mm-hmm.
And third, the universe is the greatest ontic state. And if you don't know what ontic state is, I could clarify what that is.
You can clarify it, or you can just put it in simple words to begin with.
The greatest thing that exists.
No,
The universe is not the greatest thing that exists.
because it is the only thing that exists
Right. So it's the greatest.
as a union without necessarily having a peer to be compared with. So
Right,
you can't
exactly. Okay.
call me the greatest basketball player if I'm the only basketball player.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was trying to say. So you believe in those that the universe is eternal, it encapsulates all things that exist, and it's the greatest ontic state, right?
All things that exist and that don't exist.
All right, perfect. Do you know what you are?
What's that?
You're a pantheist. You're not an atheist.
When did I ever claim to be an atheist?
You said there's no God.
Yeah, not everyone who says that there is a God is a monotheist. Not everyone who says that there is a God is a theist. The assumption. No. Listen to me.
What?
Listen. Calm down.
You just said you're not an atheist, so you're a theist.
Bring your brain
You
down.
believe in God.
Bring your brain down.
Oh my God, bro.
Does everyone who say there is a God identify as a theist?
Yes.
How about a deist?
Everybody that believes in God is a theist.
How about a deist? D.
What is a deist? What is that?
You don't know what a deist is?
Yeah, can you define it?
You don't?
No, what is it? I actually
It's
don't.
someone who believes in God, but outside the scope of religion and established dogma.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
That's the same. I'm gonna hold on.
A
One second. I'm
deist.
gonna come right back.
No.
A theist is someone that
Listen.
believes in God.
No. Listen. You're not getting it. A theist is someone who believes in God within certain established theologies. Theist. Theo. So an atheist is the opposite of a theist.
Yeah, so you don't hold to classical theism. You just hold to theism in the branch of a pantheist. So
No, I don't hold to pantheism either. You're the one who made that claim of You're the one who made that claim of pantheism. I do not either.
Wait, hold on. You believe that the universe is the greatest ontic state, that it
You keep
exists
using the
eternally,
word believe,
and it encompasses all things that exist. Right?
You
you're a
keep
pantheist.
using the word believe
You're not
when
an
I in
atheist.
fact keep telling you I'm not a believer of anything. I simply understand things. When I study,
I know you're a pantheist.
No, relax. When I study to gain understanding without having to accept or reject. And then I remain honest and objective to conclude that something is or is not. Simple as that. You see, I'm not going to take on any level beyond being a realist. Do you understand that?
Okay, so even if you're
No.
you believe in God.
Bro.
So
check this out.
If you
hold up. Hold on, my bro. Let me give you an example of what I'm trying to explain to you that you're not getting, okay? And I'm going to show you how. Now, that maybe what I'm saying might meet certain definitions of what will make you conclude that I am something when I'm in fact not. You're a Christian, right?
Yes.
Are you polytheist?
No, I don't believe in multiple gods.
And yet, you have 3 gods, don't you?
No, I don't. I don't have 3 gods.
Okay. Is the Son the Father?
Is the Son the Father? No, they're distinct from one another.
Yes or no? Is the Son the Father?
No.
Is the Son a person?
Yeah, he's classified as a person in the Trinity.
Forget about where he is classified as. Is he a person?
Well, not a physical person, but he's a metaphysical person.
The Son of God was not a physical person?
No, he's a person. He's a person.
Is the Father a person?
Yes.
Is the Spirit a person?
Yes.
As a person, is the Son God?
The Son is God.
As a person, is the Father God?
Yes.
As a person, is the Spirit God?
Yes.
Are you a person?
I'm a physical person, yes.
Bro, regardless of what you are you a person?
Yes.
Am I a person?
Yes.
Are we both human?
Yes.
You have 3 freaking gods, my bro. You are polytheist. You're not a theist. You're not a monotheist. You are a polytheist. And check this out. You can use some linguistic gymnastics to try to make yourself seem like you're monotheist. But you've already given your God, describe your God as 3 different people.
Hold on. We're not the same person, right? Do we share in the nature of human?
Of course.
Exactly my point.
Okay, so hold up. In this conversation between you and I, how many humans are there?
There's 2. We share in humanity.
So we are one humanity, are we not?
Yeah, we're one humanity, yes.
Just like your God is one God, right?
Yes.
And yet there's 2 people.
Yes, there's 2 persons in the Trinity.
No. Two persons in this conversation.
Yes.
Just like there's three persons in the Trinity.
Yes.
So the description of God to you is just a title that three people distinctively have. And yet those three people, based on your claim, those three people work together in unison so much that it's indistinguishable who is really at work. But you guys seem to have a way of working. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's three co-equal, same nature, and yet different people. By the very definition of monotheism, that doesn't meet the standard. That is polytheism.
Yeah, so,
there is no different from there's no different from Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades.
Wait, hold on. It's not. You know why? Because I gave the example of how we're distinct humans, but we share in humanity, right? We share in the nature of humanity, right? The same way the three persons of the Trinity share in the one God.
Yeah, that means that the word God is equivalent to the word human. So if you say to me that there's two humans in this conversation, that means that in the Trinity there's three gods.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. So are you a monotheist or are you a polytheist?
So just to clarify, they share the nature of God.
Just like we share the nature of humans.
We share the nature of humanity, yes.
And yet we're still individually human.
Yes, we're persons.
No. We are still individually human. I am individually human, and you are also individually human.
Yeah.
Though we share the same nature.
Me and you both share the nature of human. Yes.
Okay, but we're still, yes. But we are nonetheless still individual humans.
We're individual persons. Yes.
I can claim to be human as much as you can claim to be human.
Yes, because we share in the nature of humanity, yes.
So, as far as you and I are concerned, if we're ever anywhere, there will be at least two humans.
Yes, because we all share in the nature of humanity.
So, wherever God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit is, at very least, there will be three gods.
No.
Yes.
No. They share the nature of God. No, they share the nature of God.
Yeah, just like you and I share the nature of humanity, but we're still individually human. So they share the nature of God, but they're still individually God. That's why you said the Son is God. In fact, let me ask you a question. When the Son died on the cross, did God die?
His meat suit died. That doesn't mean that God died. How would you define death?
The cessation of all bodily functions beyond regeneration or resuscitation of any type.
Right. So the nature, the essence of God didn't die, but the meat suit, right? The humanity of God, that thing died, right? He lives on forever. So
hold up. So God has humanity?
He took on the form of flesh. That doesn't violate his nature because he's fully God, fully man.
Hold up. Yeah. God took on the nature of flesh.
Yeah, the word was made flesh, yeah. Yeah, what's the problem with that? Huh?
God took on the nature of flesh per what?
Per what? What do you mean?
What validates that?
What do you mean what validates it?
Oh, let me see. You think the claim validates itself?
What are you talking about? He did it so that we can attain
per what? What backs that statement as true?
What backs the statement as true?
What validates that statement that you just made? So much that I can't just make that statement about myself. I can freaking tell you that I'm just God. I'm God who took human form.
Yeah. God.
Oh, I'm God. Do you believe that I'm God? Do you believe that I'm God that took human form?
You're not God.
But I am God that took human form. You non-believer.
Did you come from a mother and a father? A physical mother and father?
No. My flesh did.
So you're lying?
My flesh did.
Wait. So just to clarify, you're lying. You're not actually being honest in this conversation.
You're not listening.
Did you come from a physical mother and a father?
No. Before my father and my mother was, I am.
Bro, stop lying, bro.
Hold up, bro. You're not getting it?
Bro, I can't. Bro, no.
Hold up. But did Jesus come from a father and a mother?
He came from God and he was birthed through Mary.
A human?
Yes. He was born of a virgin.
Through in vitro fertilization?
Yeah, he was born of a virgin. What's hard to grasp?
Okay, so that made him God because of that?
No, just because he was born of a virgin doesn't make him God. He existed before Mary.
So did I. I existed before my mother.
Bro, that's such a blasphemous statement.
No, it's only blasphemous to you if you're already if you're trapped within a certain dogma. But you can't prove me any wrong. You cannot prove me wrong any more than you can prove Jesus was born of a virgin.
Yeah, we have empirical evidence that you came from a mother and father.
Yeah, and we have empirical evidence that Jesus came from a mother and a father.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so you believe that Jesus was a real person then?
No, I'm talking based on my empirical evidence is not based on if he was a real person. It's regardless of if he was a real person.
Okay, so we have empirical evidence that you actually came from a mother and father, correct?
You don't have it.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's still, you still came from a mother and father.
No, you don't have empirical evidence that I came.
Every person that was born came from a mother and father. You agree?
There you go.
There I go, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what now?
Then Jesus would have had to come from a father and a mother. You can't believe that statement to be true without believing that the virgin birth was bullshit. If you really think that statement you made is true, I want you to rationally, logically justify.
Yeah, that's why Jesus is.
Hold up. I want you to rationally justify how you're not full of shit when you literally just said every person that's flesh and blood comes from a father and a mother. I want you to jump the hoop and go into Kuku Gaga land so we can see exactly how you do it.
Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't lying. Every person, right? Every person came from a mother and father, but we're talking about God here.
No. We're talking about a human being who is claiming to be God the same way I'm claiming to be God. Two different, same shit.
Okay.
We're not talking. We're not talking about someone who already has. Listen, we're not talking about someone who already had a verifiable, pre-established, unquestionable identity, then taking human form. We're talking about someone who was already human before making the fucking claim that he was God.
Okay, this is perfect.
Any human being in the world can make that claim. That's my point.
Okay, perfect. No, this is gonna be fun. So if you're God right now, I want you to levitate off your chair right now.
You are not worthy. Thou shalt not test Makanga thy God. Blasphemy.
Do a miracle.
Who are you?
Do a miracle right now.
Who are you?
Do a miracle. Do a miracle.
Who are you?
Do a miracle right now.
The only sign you shall get is the sign of Donald Trump.
I want you to do a miracle right now.
Oh, listen to me, my son.
Do a miracle.
My son.
You
my
said
son.
God, right?
My son.
Do a
My
miracle.
son.
Do a miracle.
My son.
I'm not your son.
Some want to see before they believe. Bro, let me respond. Calm down.
Go ahead.
Some want to see before they believe in Bakanga. But blessed is he who has not seen, but he believes. Oh, you of little faith. How dare you doubt Bakanga and ask for a sign? The only sign you're going to get is the sign of the man with blonde hair sitting in the Oval Office.
We're waiting for that levitation. Did anybody see you perform any miracles in your life?
I am performing a miracle right now.
What's the miracle?
I'm talking to you.
That's a miracle? Really?
Of course.
Okay, so you believe in miracles? Well,
you believe in miracles, and because my understanding transcends yours, I have to come down to your level to communicate with you. So I'm not saying this because I believe. I'm saying this because you believe.
Okay, so just to clarify, you don't believe in miracles?
No. Because from my perspective, it's not a miracle.
Oh, it's not a miracle?
Yeah, what makes a miracle a miracle?
A miracle, man.
No, tell me, what makes a miracle a miracle?
Like, for example, you levitating, that would be a miracle.
To who?
So why don't you do it?
From whose perspective will it be a miracle? Will it be a miracle from the person levitating's perspective, or will it be a miracle from those who are observing?
That would, like, define the laws of physics. If you were to levitate right now, bro, that would be a miracle.
Bro, I am levitating right now. You just need to believe by faith.
You're not levitating, man. We gotta see that levitation.
So you got to see me levitate to believe that I'm levitating?
Go on.
Do you have to see me? Hold up. Do you have to see me levitating in order to believe that I am levitating?
I want you to prove that you're God, man.
Brother, relax. Do you have to see me levitating in order to believe that I am levitating?
Yes, I want to see it right now.
Did you see Jesus walking on water?
I want to see it right now.
Did you see Jesus walking on water?
I want to see it right now.
Did you see Jesus walking on water? Answer the question.
I want to see it right now, bro.
My brother, I know that I have overwhelmed your brain. Stop responding like a broken radio. Yes or no? Did you see Jesus walking on water?
No, not physically.
You saw it how?
What do you mean?
How did you see Jesus walking on water if you didn't see it physically?
Historical documentations of many people witnessing him walk on water.
And what if those people are lying?
What if they were lying? I mean, damn. I mean, why would all those people lie? What was?
How many people saw him walking on water?
I'm pretty sure a lot of people witnessed him walk on water.
Historically, give me your source other than the Bible, and the Bible claimed it was only his disciples on the boat on that day. It wasn't even that many people. Probably wasn't more than 12 people.
Wait, not necessarily, because I think like at the end of like the Gospels, it says that he's done more miracles. So you don't know that.
It wasn't specifically on water. The miracle of walking on the water, as stated by your scripture, states that the disciples were on the boat crossing the Jordan River, or I don't know if it was the Red Sea or something, the Dead Sea. And then there was a storm, and Jesus was still on the other side, and they saw him walking. They thought it was a ghost. Peter saw it, and Jesus called onto him, and he too walked on water. Now, this is a claim by the right-hand man of the freaking supposed cult leader. So the possibility of them lying, it's just like maybe 0%, right, in your head. Just like the followers of Jim Jones probably would have been like, oh man, Jim Jones, he was a cult leader. Do the followers of cult leaders usually not lie? I don't know. Maybe you still live in the Stone Age, but I'm pretty sure if the only witnesses who saw the freaking cult leader walking on water are his cult followers, we probably shouldn't believe whatever the fuck they say. That's just how cults work. Now,
what was the... Wait.
If you didn't see Jesus walk on water, but you believe, ask my followers if they've seen me walking on water. They've seen me walking on water. Ask them in the comment section. They've seen me walking on water. I walk on water all the time. When I'm in the bathtub, I'm walking on water. When I'm in the swimming pool, I'm walking on water. All the time. All the time. That's not a miracle to you?
Could you go to the beach and walk on it?
As soon as Jesus does that, I will. Because I see. So now that it's a black guy coming to you as God, you're asking all these questions. But the one that the Roman Catholic Church gave you, you just believe that shit, claiming historical evidence. I can do anything I want. But right now I'm in human form, and I have come to lay down my life for people like you. All you have to do is believe in me and put your faith in me, and when you die, I'll give you eternal life.
I believe you believe that.
Of course, when someone is religiously indoctrinated like you, even if I was to tell you that I'm just bullshitting, you will still believe that I believe that, because that's how your brain is wired. The moment superstition is brought into the room, it fucks you up. Like you were pretty logical earlier, but the moment we came with superstition, you're now fucked up. Like you don't know which way is left, you don't know which way is right, because you already got this tendency to imagine fantastic shit. It's not your fault, actually, bro. It's actually not your fault. Like, I would never actually blame the person. I think it's a natural consequence of the superstitious way that fiction was merged with politics and tradition. And it's been transferred from generation to generation to generation. You have really strong religious genes.
I believe you believe that. I grant that.
Of course you're going to believe that I believe that, even though I just told you that I don't.
No, I grant that.
Do you believe in Santa Claus too?
Do I believe in Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Saint Nick was a real person.
You believe that he went around flying on reindeers and bringing gifts through the chimneys?
Do you believe that?
I just asked you the question.
I mean, no, I don't actually believe that he was flying around. I mean,
Oh, so you believe
wait.
in Saint Nicholas, but you don't believe in his miracles.
Yeah, I believe Saint Nicholas was a real person. Yeah, Santa existed.
But you don't believe in the miracle of flying on a reindeer and bringing gifts to kids during Christmas? Because that sure as hell would be a miracle.
That would be a miracle?
Bro, it is no less impressive than Elijah going to heaven on a flying horse, or Jesus coming back in the end times with his angels on a freaking flying horse. Can you imagine a dude who could go on a flying goddamn reindeer? See, I'm going to be the first one though. Let me tell you something. I'm going to break Jesus's record, Elijah's record, and Santa Claus record. When I come back into the world on my second coming, I'm coming back on a flying gorilla. Yeah, imagine that.
I would love to see that, actually.
Oh, you just got to believe by faith and don't doubt. You're going to see this flying gorilla coming up. Me and all my tribesmen of the kingdom of my father who sent me.
Are you going to be on the back of the gorilla?
No, I'll be standing on his shoulder.
Oh, interesting. So, did you believe in Santa when you were little?
No.
That he was flying around?
No.
Damn, you had a bad childhood.
No, actually, I had a very religious childhood because by the time I was already old enough to think, my mom had already perfectly explained to me how, if it's not in the Bible, it's demonic.
That's crazy.
So, by the time I was 10 years old, I pretty much knew majority of the stories in the Bible. By the time I was 16, I did read it back and forth multiple times. By the time I was 25, I read it multiple times, copies without chapters. By the time I was 30, I figured out that it was a scam, most certainly. That it wasn't no different from the Greek gods, the Babylonian gods, the gods of the freaking Vikings. I figured out that the only reason why Christianity and Islam remain relevant today is because they were part of a very powerful and very imposing political machine, which usually requires propaganda. And considering that the minds of religious people are the most pliable, you know what it means when someone's mind is pliable, right? You're easily susceptible to suggestion as long as it fits your preconceived notion. All I have to do is feed you information that establishes your confirmation bias, and then you literally begin to think exactly the way I want you to. Easy to manipulate. That is why, as a Christian, you literally take pride identifying yourself as a sheep. Out of all the animals that your God created, the only one you wanted to be like is a sheep. I wonder why. You could have even been a horse. You could have been an eagle. You could even identify as a lion. God damn, you could identify as a tiger. You could identify as a goddamn silverback gorilla or even a pigeon. At least a pigeon can send messages. But you identify with the one animal that's only good for two things: meat and wool. And it still hasn't rung in your head that whoever made you identify with a sheep is exploiting you. When out of all the animals in the world, you're going to identify with the animal that is good for meat and wool. Of course, the lamb and the sheep is going to be at the party. But it's going to be the delicacy.
What's wrong with sheep? They're cute.
Of course. Of course, they are cute. And they taste good too. Did you know
I've
that?
never had sheep, so I don't know that.
Oh, don't worry.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll eat whenever I want.
Well, since you will eat whenever you want, I will drop you now. Thank you for your time, buddy. Okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me up, bud.
Go and eat. And hopefully you dream of Jesus tonight, okay, bro? I hope you guys enjoyed that. Despite all the silly But you guys know me, I like to stay natural, right? But you saw how he came with a supposedly logical argument. And I kind of took them down this lane. Very easy to defeat a religious person's argument when they want to hit you with logic. Just ask them to define the universe, okay? Religious people strategically define the universe in such a way that allows them to have someone creating the universe. So it is a strategic definition, the way they define the universe. But what they're actually defining is a dimension of reality. The universe in of itself has to include both the creator and the created. What happens when you combine the existence of the creator and the created? You get the universe, universal existence. So by very definition, the most absolute definition of the word universe, it can't have been created. So if there's even just one being that exists, even if you think that being is God, if there's one being who exists who was never created, then the universe couldn't have been created. Because he had to exist somewhere. If your God existed eternally, he had to be somewhere eternally. That means there is a person who is eternal and there is a place which is eternal. Use your freaking brain. If your God is a person who has existed forever, he had to have existed forever somewhere. So they have a person who's forever, and you have a place which is forever. And if your God is forever, then he has spent a forever amount of time. So space, time, matter has to be forever. Meaning the universe couldn't have been created. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. Mr. Ken. Mr. Ken, you've been at it, bro. You sound like you're in the kitchen. You hungry?
Yeah, hi.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, we were talking about God, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, this is my opinion. God definitely exists. Let me explain why. Okay, my father told me many years ago, he said, the question is, did God create man or did man create God? I think man created God. Man creates everything in his mind. What do you think?
You know,
Hello?
I think I will like to say I understand exactly what you mean. So what I will do is help you rephrase that in a way that will make it unbeatable. Rather than saying that man created God, you should say man made up an idea of what he wants to be. Man wants to be God. So God doesn't exist yet because man doesn't yet have those omni properties that he's given the God he imagined in his head. Now, did man fabricate an idea? Yup. Does man have dreams? That's the dream of the most powerful man. You know, I often ask people, and let me ask you this question. I wonder, bro, what do you do if you already have everything that money could buy and there's nothing else that you can't get? What would you do?
Okay, you look for something more. Those people with everything, they only want one thing more, is something more. So they asked the richest
Give me
man in
just
the
from
world,
from
how
from
much
your
money did he want?
perspective. From your perspective, what is that one thing more that you think that people who have arrived at the peak of everything money could buy, what is the one thing more that is fleeting, that escapes them, that they desire the most?
I think
It's
Each
very
person
simple, actually.
has their own
It's the very
reality of
thing
what
that
that
religious
might be.
people think that they're gonna get for free.
Life, forever,
Eternal life.
eternal life.
Okay. If the rich man has
Okay,
to attain, check this out, if the rich man has to attain the peak of wealth for him to realize that eternal life is the only thing that is fleeting, how easy and how seductive will it be to scam a poor man if you told him that, hey man, there's a shortcut on how you can get eternal life without having to gain all the money in the world and get all the things that money could buy? That's how religion scams people. I think that within the human experience, life is pleasurable, and despite the pain and suffering, the continuation of life is the most pleasing thing to all living things. Immortality, the desire for immortality is inherent.
Okay, here's a story you might like to take away with you. Okay, so I recently went to Africa, somewhere in Africa, and while I was there was a preacher talking. And I like this whole idea, this concept. He said they had a factory that employed people. They closed the factory and they turned the factory into a church, and then the congregation prayed for jobs. So that tells you everything you need to know. That some other people as well, but a lot of people base their life on faith, saying that some people need that faith to get through life. It's not a matter of believing or not believing. Alcoholics cannot last a day without drinking. Lots of people can't last a day without doing something they did, and religious people need to pray to their deity.
Are they in fact praying, or are they just talking to themselves?
They're doing what, sorry?
Are they in fact praying to someone external of themselves, or are they just talking to themselves?
They're talking to themselves. It's a form of psychosis.
I don't think it's necessarily psychosis if you're conscious of the fact that you are talking to yourself. I think it only becomes a psycho problem when the person who is talking to himself is under such a strong delusion that he doesn't realize that that's what he's doing. He's role playing. Prayer is an intimate form of role playing within religious environment.
100%. I have a friend who prays to God and asks God every single day. I didn't realize God had that much time on his hands.
Don't you find it bizarre that you have to keep asking someone who already knows what you want over and over for the same thing? It's almost as though the frequency of prayer is actually reflective of your lack of belief. So therefore, listen to me, my audience. The more you pray, the more you don't believe. Because if you know that your God already knows what you want, you wouldn't even have to pray. That means you don't trust that your God knows how to do his job.
Hold it. Yeah, but I would say you do have to pray because that's part of the package. Remember, when you bought a car, you expect to drive it. It comes with wheels and an engine. And you know, when you walk out your door, that car's parked there somewhere. It's real. But you have to keep putting petrol in it, maintaining it, cleaning it, all of those things. And it's like children. You have to maintain them. And
they have to maintain that lifestyle. No, you are correct. There is a level of maintenance required to validate their religion. That is why the longer a religious person goes without practicing their religious ritual, the more they begin to doubt the validity of their religious beliefs. The longer a religious person goes without participating in their religious rituals, the more they begin to doubt the validity of their religious beliefs. It happens to anyone who's religious. The longer you
there's
go
one more
without
thing.
going to church, the less you want to go. Until something traumatic
Okay,
happens.
there's
Until something traumatic happens,
okay.
you will not regain your
There's
passion.
one more thing. Okay, there's one more thing. I have been told by many religious people, give your soul, your heart to God, believe in Him, and He will appear. So I've closed my eyes, I've opened my eyes, I've prayed, and I said, God, if you're out there and you're real, prove to me you're real. Now, other than my life being a good life, from a physical feeling, I've never experienced that oneness with this omnipotent being. He hasn't come to me. And I tell my friend who goes on and on all the time, I said, I'm so pleased you have had your experience with God. Let me have mine and then I'll come back to you. Stop trying to force feed me this whole thing. I really don't need it.
Bro, it is that concept of we feel safer in numbers. When religious people propose that you participate in their religion, they're not doing it for you. They're doing it for themselves so they could feel secured. Because if they felt like they were the only ones, they will feel insecure. When in fact their religion, especially Christianity, tells them that few there be that would find it. And yet, Christians brag about all the time how there's 2 billion Christians. Didn't your religion say you'll be few? Doesn't your Bible say you're going to be few who find a way that leads to life? How come there's 2 billion of you? Thank you for your time, my brother. I appreciate you, okay? Have a good night.
Thank you, and you. Take care.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yo, what's up, man?
The sky is up and the ground is down.
So, I just wanted to say, you are a retarded nigger with AIDS.
Thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate
Nigger,
it.
nigger, 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 nigger.
I don't know what makes you feel that
Nigger,
way, but if that's what
nigger,
makes you sleep at night, good for you, bro. Good for you, okay, brother?
nigger, nigger.
It really makes my heart warm to know that I was able to trigger you that much, to bring you down that path where you now have to battle the storms within your mind and within your heart. By the way, I am continuously muting you until I am certain that you've completely heard what I have to say to you, my good brother. You know, so your insecurities, good for you, bro. But yeah, you can't call me that because I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself, what is it that Bakanga could have possibly said that would trigger such a behavior? If I was lying, will it trigger such a behavior? You know, they say the truth hurts. If my words are hurting you right now, they're probably true. The only way what I'm saying is not true to you and you're a behavior and you're a Christian, either you agree with what I'm saying, or what I'm saying hurts you. You might not even realize it. Perhaps it's not even hurting you. It's just hurting how you feel. These trolls usually go and make multiple profiles. Let's see. This might be him again. Bring all your profiles, bro.
Yep.
So I'm I'm disagreeing with you, but I grew up very like an atheist, and I used to have the same like I used to be like just like you, just telling people like I used to mock God,
You've never
but
been like me, and I am not mocking God. What I am
you're
mocking is
you're
what you've
saying there's no
imagined in
God
your.
though.
No, listen. What I am mocking is what you've imagined in your head is God. If I was mocking God, I'm very much confident God would come tell me himself. It won't have anything to do with anyone who bleeds red. If God himself has not filed a complaint, who the fuck are all of you? And forgive my French. I'm pretty sure if someone offends me, I don't need somebody else to go and say, oh, you're mocking me. Does God need your help? How can you believe that God created the whole universe without needing anybody's help? Now he needs your help in order to address a person that's mocking him. No, no, no. Every word that comes out of my mouth only mocks what you've imagined in your head. And if
So
you know that what you've imagined in your head is only in your head, then you will find no offense in what I'm saying.
if there's no God, nothing really matters in the world. That means I could literally do anything I want. You could do whatever you want. You could go slap somebody, that doesn't matter. You could go steal, that doesn't matter. If anything you do in this world does not matter because there's no God. And that sounds insane.
No,
If
that's
you
not true. That's
if
not
you're looking
true.
at the sky and you're looking like, yo,
That's not true. Let me help you
how
understand
all this
something.
happened?
What I do doesn't matter because of God. It matters because there are other human beings that also have the ability to act based on what I have done. That's the
So
only reason
so
why what we do matters, right? So let's say I was the only human being in this world, then nothing I do would matter to anyone. I can do anything without fearing retaliation. But even animals and all other living things have instinctive desires to live on. They have defense mechanisms. So the only reason why something matters in this world is that someone else might not think that what you're doing is appropriate, and they might act with hostility, even if what you were doing was beneficial. That's
so
why
you're talking about
Republicans.
like
That's
no
why
one's right.
Republicans and Democrats exist. That's why there's left and right, up and down. That's why even within the conceptualization of God, they gotta have a good guy and a bad guy. The only reason why believing in God really matters to Christians is because the devil exists and hellfire exists. Take away the possibility of going to hell. Take away the possibility of eternal punishment. There is not a single Christian that will find any value in believing. It will be
So
useless.
you're saying the devil exists.
I'm saying that the idea of a good guy and a bad guy is consistent with how human beings fabricate fictitious stories because they're inspired by the real world, right? You and I can only be in an argument if one person agrees and the other person disagrees with the subject at hand. That disagreement will make this conversation matter because I have the ability to act upon what I'm saying and you have the ability to act upon what you're saying. And because you can act pretty much in any way you want, you can be kind or you can be hostile, it matters to me. Now, let's say you didn't exist and no one else exists, then even talking about God wouldn't matter to me. So what makes things matter is not this grand existence. It is the subjective experiences we have with each other. And to be honest, let me tell you something, bro. You can do whatever you want. As long as you let other people do whatever they want. So guess what? If you choose to go rob the bank, I'm going to choose to protect the bank. And we both do what we want. How about that?
So you think there will be no
If
judge?
you choose to go and steal from someone's house, I can choose to be a police officer. You get to do what you want. I get to do what I want. How about that? Isn't that a fair deal?
I'm trying to understand you, but I just life is really mean. Like nothing matters if that's the case. Then
Something matters.
what matters? There's no God. There's no purpose. We die. There's nothing, right?
Oh, there is purpose.
And what is it?
Pleasure. Play.
What like
Have
what
you
pleasure?
have you
Lust?
I'm gonna ask you this question in the most raw form possible. Don't take it offensively, but I have to ask
No,
you this question
shoot
in
it.
this
Yeah,
way.
shoot it.
Have you ever busted a nut?
Wait, what?
Whether it was with a girl,
yeah. Where this
then
going?
then you've experienced pleasure. Life matters because even beyond busting a nut, we find pleasure in the things we do, even in the presence of adversity. It's enjoyable to overcome suffering, to overcome pain, and then to reward yourself with the loots, the product of your endurance. And because life is this cycle of overcoming pain and then pleasure, then more pain comes, we desire it so we can find purpose within each moment. Finding a very big purpose that encompasses your entire life, that will not matter in the grand scheme of things, because nothing is guaranteed beyond this present moment. So whatever purpose you want to have, be fully present within that moment and be fully mindful and dedicated to whatever it is that you're choosing. Like right now, you're choosing to be here on this life. Bro, this is your purpose in this moment. You literally chose it. This is what I tell people. Your purpose is what you choose to do, even if you're being forced to do it, because you can always choose the option of death. But if you decide that, damn, bro, this man is forcing me to work, I don't really want to work, but in order for me to live, I have to work, then you've just made that work your purpose. Because you can resist. Though the consequences might be you going out of existence, but if you know that you want to continue living, you give into it. You choose to be someone's slave. That's a choice. That's your purpose in that moment. Now, maybe you might have plans of escaping in the future, but you know that you won't get to that future if you don't perform that purpose right now, which is to survive. So survival is the purpose of life.
I think it should be. I think it's more than that, and I think
No. It's no more than
when
that,
God
because
says don't
there's
do
too many
not
of us.
lean onto your own understanding.
That is the worst advice anyone could ever give you. And I'm telling you, bro, any human being in this world that tells you not to lean on your own understanding is definitely trying to scam you. Let me tell you, I think that you might not understand my words if you don't know how human beings form their own understanding. Leaning on your own understanding doesn't mean you cannot learn from others. It doesn't mean you cannot be inspired by others. It just means that whatever it is that you learn, you process it through your mind, and then you only take what you can put into practice. The combination of the different learnings you get from different people that you accumulate within your mind will now become your own understanding. And because it is your own understanding, you will never run away from the responsibility that that understanding produces. But when you rely on anybody, if you rely on another person's understanding, when shit hit the fan, you're gonna naturally blame that person. In psychology, they call that internal and external locus of self-control. Internal locus of self-control are people who always fault themselves for the bad things that happen to them. External locus of self-control are people who always blame something outside of themselves for whatever happens to them. The safest and most productive way is internal locus of self-control. That is, regardless of what happens to me, I will only put blame on myself. Even if the only thing I did wrong was the decisions I made that got me there. So if I get caught up in a drive-by and a stray bullet hits me, oh, it's not because that person who fired that gun was bad. It's not because, oh, there was an armed robbery going on. It's because somehow, between when I woke up from bed, I made a series of decisions that led me there. Had I made just one decision different, I might not have been there. So what do I need to do next time in order to avoid a situation where I end up in other people's bullshit? That's how I would look at that situation. Some other people will look at it, oh, he shot me. I was just going down the street. I didn't do anything to him. Well, you did something. Which was the choice you made to be there. Right? But if you put everything in the hands of God, then when fucked up shit happens to you, you're going to blame the devil. When good things happen to you, you're going to give God credit. At no point do you take personal responsibility. Such human beings are not usually very productive in society. We have a lot of them.
But didn't Jesus say that bad things will happen Didn't he already predict that? Or you don't believe in Jesus at all?
I am
Do you believe in
pretty
Jesus?
sure you shouldn't need to read a book to know that bad things are gonna happen. And if you need to read a book to know that bad things are gonna happen, you might be a little bit slow mentally. Something went wrong between the age of 2 and 5.
I have never read the Bible, but I'm gonna tell you that I think Jesus touched a lot of hearts all around the world, and 500 witness seen what he did, and you to like
500 witnesses did not see what Jesus did, but some people claim that they did. Now, regardless of if they did or not, you are correct. The stories of Jesus, as written in the Bible, does touch a lot of hearts. Fucks them up. It fucks them up. It traps them in a labyrinth of their own mind, a prison of their own mind, to where they become addicts and fanatics about it. The more fanatical you are, the more disconnected you are from reality. But those who are able to see the story of Jesus understand that you can learn from fiction without believing the fictional tales to be literally true. Such people have gained some level of immunity to the fucked upness of it. Because I learn from fictional stories all the time. One of my favorite lessons I got from a fictional story was in Spider-Man. When Uncle Ben said to Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility.
that's a
Do you,
movie though. We talking about real life.
no. Hold up. Do you agree with that message? Do you agree with the message that with great power comes great responsibility?
Yeah, like Jesus with great power comes with great
Brother, no. Don't tell me like anyone. I am giving you a quote from Spider-Man. I never heard this statement until I watched Spider-Man. Uncle Ben said to Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. Do you think that statement can inspire you to do your best when you have power?
What power?
The power to work if I'm the boss, the power to be kind to my employee, the power to tell the truth, the power to be honest, the power to be patient, the power to be angry, the power to seek vengeance, the power to lie. Power simply means the ability to do something. If you have the ability to do anything, whatever you do comes with great responsibility. That's pretty much what Uncle Ben was trying to tell Spider-Man. Whether you have the spider powers or you don't have the spider powers, as long as you can do something, take responsibility. And let me tell you, bro, that touched my heart. Because I don't have spider webs coming out of my hands like Peter Parker.
So,
But I sure as hell can swing from a building. I'm telling you that.
it doesn't touch your heart when Jesus said, either you choose God or you don't. And if you don't want to choose him, you go to hell. Basically,
That
you're separate from
didn't
him.
touch my heart. No, that didn't touch my heart. I can tell you why.
And tell me why.
Why would a random person tell me that I have to choose God or go to hell? It seems to me like someone is trying to fuck with me because I've never seen any evidence that hell is a real place. And there's really nothing I can do about it.
Hell is basically living separate from God. So if you
Yeah, if I can live a good life separate from God, what's the problem with that?
you have that's
right
the
now,
love that he gives you.
right now, I am living
You
separate
have the
from God.
free will.
No,
You
no,
have the free will to
right now,
choose.
I am living separate from God, and so are you. God is not here, is he?
He's that I do not know. That's what I could tell you.
So you don't know. So you're practically living your life separate from God. God's not here right now, and I don't really have a problem talking to you. You and I are getting along just fine. Like, God has never proven that my life would be miserable if he wasn't there. So God has a lot of work to do before I can even allow that statement to touch my heart. Because I'm not going to be a dumbass to just get scared of anybody's nightmare. If you come and tell me, yo, bro, I had a nightmare last night. I was being chased by a bunch of gorillas with tails like chihuahuas. You want me to start acting scared because you had a dream? That's the same thing when someone comes and tells me a threat that I can't perceive.
I don't think it was more of a threat though when he said that statement. Because more when you think about it, if if he's giving you the choice, he's giving you that free will of either you choose or you don't. But if you don't, you
But
live
that's
separate by him.
the
And
thing. It's not a choice. Considering that, based on what Jesus is actually saying, you don't automatically go to hell because you didn't believe in God. No, you go to hell because God wants to send you there because you didn't satisfy his ego. God is the one that sent you to hell. You don't automatically go to hell. Just like he did to Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve didn't automatically get out of the garden just because they ate the fruit. God had to kick them out. That's his plan anyways. My question is, why does he want me to choose him so badly? Like, when he's the one that got the most power. And if he's got the most power, why is he playing hide and seek? I don't have time for that. Doesn't he know that life is hard?
he know how corrupted the world is.
Yeah, why the fuck did he make it that corrupted? It seems to me like the only person who doesn't know that with great power comes great responsibility is your God. He had the power to create the world, and he don't want to take responsibility for the fuck up shit in the world. He keep blaming the devil that he created. Like, damn, bro. How can Peter Parker be smarter than your God? He said, how can I make a car and the car malfunction because of mechanical issues in the car, because of how the car was made? If God could make human beings immune to sin, God could have made human beings immune to sin and given them free will. He didn't have to make them to where they were vulnerable to sin. He knew what the fuck he was doing. Who the fuck put that tree in the garden in the first place? Where did the evil in the tree come from? So he made this trap, put it there. Adam and Eve ate the fruit, fucked up the world, and now I gotta suffer for that shit? Why doesn't he put me in my own garden and see if I choose to eat the tree or not? Isn't he supposed to be fair? You know, if I was born in a fucking garden and there was a tree and then the voice of God came there and said, Bakanga, my son, thou shalt not eat of the tree in the middle of the garden, lest ye die. I would have like, well, Papa God, why are you telling me not to eat from the tree in the garden? Are we not Africans? Look at my ancestors have been eating fruits for a long time. Why are you telling me not to eat this fruit? What is wrong with it? That's what I would have said.
But if he sent his only son to die for everyone's sins,
how do I know his only son? Before his only son came into the world, who knew that he had a son? Huh? Who knew that God had a son before his only son came into the world? What if he has other sons? And what if the devil is one of them? What if the devil is one of his rebellious sons? So this family, they have a family quarter that's fucking up the world. There's a lot of questions that can't be answered, bro. And we're in 2025. We're not in that generation where we just believe shit like that anymore. We ask for evidence. Innocent until proven guilty, bro. It's a lie until proven to be true. You did not commit the crime just because she said you did. We got to go to court and she got to prove that you did. We're not going to treat you and believe by faith that you committed a crime just because you're black and she said it was a black guy who attacked her and you just happen to be walking down the street and you're black. They used to do that shit in America. That was called discrimination, profiling, stereotype. That's some fucked up shit. Just because I look like Adam and Eve don't mean that I ate the damn fruit. Your God treated me like I went up on the tree and went and got the fruit. When he's the one that tells me I was born into a world that was already fucked up. I never stood a chance. And then he says in the same Bible that there are some people whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life before the foundation of the earth. Well, the fuck? Did he write my name in that shit too? Because if he wrote my name in that shit, then I'm good anyway. If my name is not in that shit, that means he planned to fuck me up all from the beginning. Think about it. God's got a list of people whose name he wrote in the book of life before the foundations of the earth, before he created the earth. If my name is not in that book, that means that God was already planning to fuck me up anyways. So going to hell, I wouldn't really be surprised. It looks like maybe I might do just fine in hell. Maybe something about me is designed to be in hell. So why should I be afraid? Fear is toxic. Fear is like a virus to the mind. And the only antidote to fear is courage. To stand up to whatever it is that scares you or frightens you. It is only when you have courage that you realize that the storm might be strong, but your roots are deep. All the trees without deep roots, yeah, the storm will blow them away. But for me, the storm might blow away my leaves, bend my branches, but it will never pluck me out of the ground. And let me tell you something, bro. I'm African. I got deep roots. Christianity is not a powerful enough storm to make me ignore the narrative of my ancestors. So, with all due respect, fuck Jesus. I don't need him.
That was a lot. Jesus loves you. God loves you. He is working with you. If you don't believe
I don't need Jesus' love. Do you know why?
Let's hear why.
Because you believe in him and it ain't working for you.
It worked for me a lot. Because I ain't believing him for years.
Hold up. You believe in him, right? How long have you believed in him?
It been 2 years now.
So in the last 2 years, Jesus came into your heart and you've been born again?
Yeah.
So you got this love affair with Jesus going on?
It's true.
All
even
right.
when I didn't want, when it didn't make sense to me.
According to the Bible, I get it. According to the Bible, Jesus is of righteousness and the devil is of unrighteousness, right?
What was that? Say that again.
According to your religion, Jesus is of righteousness. The devil is of unrighteousness, right?
Uh-huh.
Lying is unrighteousness, right?
Yeah.
The devil is the father of lies, right?
Yeah.
You don't like lying, right?
No, lying's bad.
Huh?
Lying's bad.
But you lie sometimes, though, right?
Yeah, I think everyone has lied. It's like everyone's sin.
Yeah, I get it. And you're about to lie to me right now, aren't you?
Nah. Tell me.
You're not gonna lie to me?
Nah.
When was the last time you masturbated?
I don't need to do that, and I don't really do that.
Maybe you didn't hear the question. I didn't ask if you need to do it. I didn't ask if you do it because I already know you do it. What I asked you was when. Just tell me the time. Remember, you said you ain't gonna lie to me. You're supposed to be righteous now. Don't be acting like those who are from the devil, their father. Don't be ashamed. You need courage right now. What you need in this moment is courage to tell the truth. When was the last time you masturbated?
I'm gonna tell you probably like 8 years ago. That shit was not recent.
All right, relax. Yeah, whether it was 8 years ago or it was 2 days ago, the point is, why did you tell me you don't do it when you now are saying you did it 8 years ago?
Oh, because I'm not thinking about my childhood. But I get it.
Why should I believe anything you tell me when you can't even tell me the same thing consistently? You are lying. You are lying. Now, my question to you is,
Hmm.
where is Jesus in your heart right now? So much that he can't even help you tell a little truth about something which is embarrassing. You know right now that you remember. You can, in fact, as I'm talking to you, that's how the human brain works. You are vividly imagining the last time you did it. And yet, in your heart, you say you believe in Jesus. How can those two things coexist? That you have this person in you who's supposed to help you tell the truth, and yet lies just keep coming out of your mouth like your mouth was a lying machine. Which one is it? Is
It's
it
because
possible
of my
that?
flesh.
Oh,
I sin.
oh. You see
Everyone
why?
sin.
You see why I told you I don't love I don't need the love of Jesus. If you got the love of Jesus in your heart, but your flesh is still fucked up, why the fuck do I need the love of Jesus for? You tell me one good thing I'm gonna get, one good advantage I'm gonna get with the love of Jesus. Because your
So
flesh
he
just
can
as
help
weak as
you.
mine. Your flesh is just as weak as everybody's in here. The love of Jesus ain't helping you out at all in any way other than you coming to claim relationship by association. Chances is, if Jesus pulled up on you, you wouldn't even recognize him. Chances is, if Jesus pulled up on you today, you will not recognize him because you don't freaking know him. I am pretty certain Jesus pull up looking like Jackie Chan. You're not gonna believe that shit because you don't think that Jesus could be Asian. I bet you if Jesus pull up and he look exactly like Donald Trump, you ain't gonna believe it because you think he got long hair. In fact, when I say the name Jesus, brother, please tell me what image comes to your mind. I know it ain't the image of a black guy. I'm pretty sure it's the image of a middle-aged looking white man with a goatee, a mustache, and long, soft, fruity hair. Looking like he ain't never picked up a hammer in his life, but he was supposed to be a carpenter.
I think more of a spirit or a light, not of appearance.
That light is your imagination. But listen, bro, I'm not judging you because at the end of the day, I can't be any more human than you, and you can't be less human than me. And within our common humanity, you know just as much as I do the struggles and the pains and the sufferings we go through. You also know that regardless of what you believe and what I think, you can only do your best, and I can only do my best. You can see me, I can see you. What I'm saying is, those religious beliefs might make you feel safe. Maybe they help you out mentally, who knows? But it doesn't always mean it's true. And there's a level of thinking beyond which you don't need fairy tales. But it takes a lot of work to get there. It's not an easy path. It is the path of suffering. It's the difficult path. It's the narrow path. It's the true narrow path. That's why majority of human beings believe in God. Because believing in God is easy. It is not the narrow path that your Jesus was telling you. You see, the irony is funny. Jesus says, broad is the gate. Wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there be that go through it. Narrow is the way that leads to life, and few there be that find it. By percentages, I'm pretty sure all the people who believe in God are looking for that narrow way, and they haven't found it by believing in God. Because we see them going through the wide gate. And we know they ain't going with your God, because your God said he's not the author of confusion. And when we look at y'all Christians, just y'all, let's not even add Muslims, not yet. You are so confused that the word confusion is ashamed to associate with Christianity. Christianity is so confused. Hey, truth seeker, if you don't stop spamming, I'm gonna block you, bro.
I don't I think religion divides everyone. I think having a relationship with Jesus is more important.
Having a relationship with Jesus is religion.
Because there's more than one God that everybody says, right?
No, because Jesus is considered a God, and you can't have a relationship with God without religion. The idea of relationship, bro, you're just giving me the new rhetoric. Christianity is trying to rebrand itself. This is something that started about 10 years ago. A lot of Christian leaders started condemning religion and trying to rebrand Christianity as some type of superficial relationship because religion got a bad rep. They're trying to rebrand, especially now that church is going online. People don't want to go to the buildings anymore. They're trying to rebrand it. They're trying to rebrand it in a way that will allow them to still have control to tell you what to do. Because in the past, it was easier when everyone was just pulling up to church every Sunday. So they could tell you to stand up, you stand up. Sit down, you sit down. But now when you're just watching him on the TV, he don't know what the fuck you're doing. And he's going to have to work extra hard to get you to make a donation. So if he can build a new narrative, if they could build a new system where they can tell you that it's about relationship and then put these ideas in your head, and all they have to do is use a bunch of trigger words, then when they say, the Lord is talking to someone right now, you're sitting on your couch. You just had a hard day yesterday, but the Lord is saying, sow that $1,000 seed. This is for the work of the Lord. And it will come back to you 1,000-fold. I am like, damn. Even professional scammers ain't that smooth.
So what you think happens after death?
Your family cries. Your body decomposes. We put you in the grave. And after a few hundred years, you're forgotten. That's what happens in this world.
So you think you go nowhere after that? You're just done.
You go
Black
somewhere.
screen.
You go somewhere.
Where's that?
The cemetery. That's not where you expect it, right? But if you don't believe me, you can drive around anywhere in your neighborhood. You're going to see a whole bunch of cemeteries, buddy. And that person that told you you're going to have streets of gold, a mansion, they're scamming you. They know you're going to end up in the cemetery. So if they make you give them your shit now, you're not going to live long enough to realize they're scamming you. That's how a scam works. A scam is supposed to be the type of thing where when you realize there's nothing you can do about it. It's a business model. It's the oldest business on earth. The religious scam. I call it the buying and selling of false hope. It literally is the buying and selling of false hope. Hey man, are you sad? How about you give me $1,000 and I tell you what you want to hear? I'm really good with words. And by the way, I got a book. You could read this book, but if you don't understand it, just come back here next Sunday. I explain it to you. But I collect a little fee, 10% for God, and then a free offering for me. By the way, I'm not using it for myself now. I'm using it for the work of the Lord. It's a freaking scam, bro.
Wait, so how you think life started then? If there's no God.
Life could have started however it did. What's most important is not how life started.
I think it takes an intelligent being to create a world.
Listen to me. Whether it took freaking Santa Claus or Superman or your God or the Muslim God or any of the thousands of gods out there, it don't fucking matter. You want to know what matters? Is that life actually exists, regardless of how it started. And you got one. But you want to know what's dangerous about life existing? That everyone who exists must know? It doesn't exist forever. It has an expiration date. So there's a sense of urgency for you to fulfill what you want. There's a reason why everybody in the company is not a CEO, okay, bro? They don't read the same books. The books the janitor reads is not the books the CEO reads. If the janitor read the same books as the CEO, he won't be the janitor. There's a reason why you go and sit your ass down in the pew and let some other human being who is probably fucking your neighbor's wife to tell you how to live your life. And then the day you realize that he fucking your neighbor's wife, you're like, oh no, he fell from grace. That nigga, oh, sorry, that dude never had grace to begin with. Well, you say, oh, that pastor fell from grace. Nah, he didn't have grace in the first place. He just made you think it. Now, does it mean he's a bad person? No. Bro, despite all this thing I'm telling you, it doesn't make them bad people. It just makes them humans. Sometimes humans lie to get what they want. That's just part of our nature. Your pastor is not better than you, bro. He goes home and jacks off too. Listen, if you
saying
don't
that for all
believe me,
pastors?
do you have a church?
Pastors?
Do you have a church? Do you
No,
go to
I don't go. No.
You don't go?
No.
Find a random church and go to the pastor of that church and ask him this question that I'm just about to tell you. Ask him, Pastor, when was the last time you masturbated? Bro, you're going to walk out of there and you're going to know that it's a scam.
I'd do that if you could do a podcast with you ever heard that Pastor Cliff? If you look him up on TikTok, Pastor Cliff.
Cliff is a scammer. Cliff can't argue with me. And believe it or not, if I wanted that kind of fame, I'll go down that lane. But those people don't argue because they care about people. They're not actually trying to make people understand. They're selling Christian propaganda. Okay? They're selling Christian propaganda. It's his own way of making money. Cliff is a Christian propagandist. If I just took him with simple questions, let me tell you something. Intellectual people are not always necessarily the most honest people. When it comes to the subject of God, bro, it's not actually complicated. It's simple. When someone comes and begins to use a bunch of big words, bro, they're leading you into a scam. It's very simple. It's like 1 + 1. Either God's there or God's not there. If God's not there, then there's a different explanation. The different explanation might be something that it requires us to study for hundreds of years to find out. And that's why science kind of improves so slowly. Because there's some things in this world that we can't find out all at once. Just like people who lived in the 50s, they didn't have the internet. They would have loved to have the internet, but they couldn't. So all they had to do was do the work that they could do to set us up for the internet. Just like people who lived before 9/11, they didn't have AI. Now we got AI. Now we don't have AIs that got their own bodies going around living their own lives. But 500 years from now, humans would have it. That's just how the world keep moving. Or World War III might come and set us back a few years. Or World War III might come back and change the power structure of the world to where people will no longer be citizens of countries. People will become citizens of corporations. Which is what I personally think. I think that in the future, corporations will be stronger than countries. So territory, different lands and territories will no longer be nations, like a nation. No, like CEOs will be the most powerful people in the world in terms of geographical locations. Especially the more digital the world becomes. We become so dependent on the digital world that those who control that digital world will wield the most power in the world. You can already see it anyways.
So you done your research, like you read the Bibles and everything, right? You read the gospel.
I was a Christian for 25 years. I'm not speaking to you out of ignorance. I know the Bible better than you and understand it better than you because I did my due diligence. And I don't have any personal beef with the Bible. I'm just telling you what it is because I'm not compelled to lie. If I say anything which is not true in it, you can point it out. I don't read my feelings into it. It doesn't matter to me if the Bible is true or false. What matters to me is that I have the ability to describe it as it is. The Bible and the Quran are no different. There are a bunch of mythological stories mixed in with poetry and life advice, a bunch of shit. It's not the word of God for sure. It's a word of humans, which has been edited over time, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of times. You can read the Bible if you like reading. In fact, if you're a Christian, you totally should read it. Read it from beginning to the end. Then read it again, then read it again, read it again. If by the time you've read it 5 times, you don't realize that snakes don't talk, you're fucked. Ain't no hope for you, buddy. Like donkeys don't talk. Like, bro.
So I'm gonna do my research, and I'm gonna come back to you another day, and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna have to learn because you know more than me. So
I do not know more than
you
you.
gonna say? You say you read the Bible.
I do not know more than you, and I cannot know more than you, because what you need to know in order to free yourself from within is simply that you are you. Your highest knowledge in this world is the knowledge of yourself. There's still so many questions about yourself that you need to answer before you start obsessing over anything outside of yourself. Ask yourself, why do I always lie when I get scared? Why do I blush when I see that girl? Why do I feel like just walking away when my boss talks to me? You don't have enough time in this world to figure all that shit out about yourself. Why are you reading a book about a bunch of motherfuckers in the past and believing in that shit? If you focus on answering the questions that directly affect you, that only affect you, that got nothing to do with me, you will see yourself growing. And trust me, even if there was a God, bro, this is your safety. God wouldn't be a fool. If God really wanted you to know, he'll knock on your door. Not as a ghost, not as a spirit. No. God will understand how to communicate. He's not going to be a shitty ass communicator that wants you to go to somebody's building and be someone's freaking slave and believe a bunch of fairy tales from a bunch of confused people that wanted political power. If Donald Trump wants to talk to me, Donald Trump can find me. He got more power politically. If Vladimir Putin wants to talk to me, he doesn't have to write a book for me to read 2,000 years from now. Fuck no. Jesus can do anything, including fucking knocking on your damn door when there's people at home and pull up and talk to you and your family and have you gonna call your freaking neighbors. Yo, Jesus pull up on me, y'all. Come check this out. God got nothing to lose to do that. So the fact that he ain't done it, either he doesn't want to or he doesn't need to. So you don't need to worry about all that bullshit anyways. Be the best human that you can be and learn from every human being. You can learn from good and bad people. You're going to learn what not to do from bad people. You're going to learn what to do from good people. Regardless of religion, race, state, status. Everything, anything can give you knowledge. You got to take that knowledge and process that knowledge like a grinder. Take out the good nutrients. The good nutrients is the part of that knowledge that you can actually put to practice. Anytime someone gives you information, only what you can practice is important. Out of everything I just told you right now, only what you can practice is important. You can definitely go and read your Bible over again without using your emotions and feelings. Don't pick any sides. Read it like any regular book. And then use your sense of morality to judge the damn characters in the book, including God. If God do bad shit, don't try to justify it. God doesn't have to be the good guy in the Bible. And the devil doesn't have to be the bad guy. Maybe human beings are the good guys in the Bible. Maybe God and the devil are just a bunch of slave master aliens that are trying to control the human race, so they fucking lie to them. But you won't know until you read it with a mind that is free of bias. If you already believe that the Bible is the word of God, then when you read it, you can only read it as the word of God. And if it's not the word of God, then you're fucked. So go into the Bible and read it without believing anything in it. Just try to understand it. If you understand it, and you find formulas in there, those formulas will give you the ability to solve problems and you'll be just fine. You will never have to go somewhere and say, I'm a Christian. Like, people will be able to tell. A firefighter doesn't have to say, I'm a firefighter. You see how he's dressed, you see how he works, and you know. A bodybuilder don't got to say, hey, look, I'm a bodybuilder. You can see the fucking muscles. A police officer, your lifestyle will be like a uniform that everyone can identify. And you want to know what's funny about righteousness? I've realized that those who wear the uniform of righteousness are not always religious. They don't always belong to one religion. Some of the kindest human beings I've met were Muslims. Some of the most charitable human beings I met were Christians. Some of the peaceful people I ever met were atheists. Some of the funniest people I met were Satanists. There's so many virtues in the world. We all excel at different ones. You can't be judging the shark just because it can't fly like the fucking eagle. You can't judge the fucking eagle because it can't swim like the shark. How about you put everyone in their natural environment? Put everyone at what they are good at. Then you will realize that, damn, in the sky, the eagle is the king. In the water, the shark is the king. But even the eagle being the king in the air, humans can still shoot his ass down. So he's only a king, but his power is also limited. The shark is the king, but the fucking whale could swallow his ass. So he's only a king, but his power is limited. So the eagle doesn't need to be perfect. He just needs to be good at flying. The shark doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be good at swimming. Being a human being is not a crime. And to be a human being is to make mistakes. So your mistakes, there are some things that you can only learn not to do them by doing them wrong. There are some lessons that you can only learn by mistakes. If mistakes were not a good thing, if missing the mark, if sin was not a good thing, there will be some things we wouldn't know as human beings. Once you've lied one time and tasted what a lie is, you really know what a lie is. But a person who has never lied cannot understand what a lie is. So if Jesus lived a perfect life and he never lied, he don't understand what that shit is like. If Jesus never jacked off, if he never looked at the woman and had a boner, if he never felt like beating the shit out of someone, if he never felt like going to go and get revenge and actually did it, he doesn't know what it's like to be human. We know each other because we go through the same shit. So it's easy for us to feel each other's pain. But if Jesus was real, he probably was the worst human being you ever met, who made a lot of mistakes, but somehow he was able to learn from his mistakes. That's the only logical version of Jesus that could exist. Someone who was so fucked up, but he worked his way from nothing. You know how that song goes? I started from the bottom, but now I'm here.
But all the pain that he went through.
It's not more than the pain you're going through. What kind of pain? What kind of pain can you think the pain Jesus went through is more than the pain the fucking kids in Palestine are going through being bombed? You think it's more than the pain that the people in Nagasaki and Hiroshima went through? The ones who survived, burnt up by all that radiation and having to live the rest of their life giving birth to kids with two. Bro, you know what pain is? Bro, you can't measure pain now. There's no type of pain that you're looking at one group of human beings and say, oh, your pain is more than my pain. Or this person has more pain than this person. No, pain is subjective. All we know is that pain hurts. But I can't begin to compare my pain to yours. Because on the surface, my pain might look to be worse than yours, but yours is actually deeper than mine. The point is my pain so bad that I can't help myself and then help others? You see, the way to deal with pain is if I really know that I have pain, I need to look for somebody else who is in pain and try to help them. When I try to help them, they're going to try to help me. And only by working together can we make our pains go away. But I by myself cannot take away all my pains. I certainly cannot depend on an imaginary being who wants me to. That only comes to me in fucking dreams. That's why homeless people hang out together, bro. They understand each other's pain. And that's why we give them money sometimes, because we also understand their pain. But we got pains too, because we got to go to work. young brother, I'm not smarter than you or better than you. Focus on your own life and be the best human that you can be, okay? This is just a conversation. You get me? Go and read the Bible and keep growing. That's all you can do. But my hope for you is you don't allow those ideas create insecurities in you. You get me?
Yeah, I hear you, but I won't. I would never try to lean to my own understanding and lean to like understanding
Sure.
somebody else's
Sure.
perspective.
If despite everything I've said, if that's what makes you sleep at night, to not use your brain, then hey man. After all, a horse can't tell the donkey to run fast. They might look the same, but one is an ass. You know what I'm saying, bro? So, hey, if you don't want to lean on your understanding, man, sleep well. Have a great night, okay, my brother?
Yeah, you too, man.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a blessed night. I'll see you guys soon, okay? I got 30 minutes to be at work. So you guys have a blessed night. Yeah, you get me? Mel, I haven't spoken to you in a while. I hope you're doing good, my friend. To those of you I couldn't get you tonight, y'all, tomorrow, okay? I'm gonna put something